What is up, Hardcore Nation? It is Hardcore Christopher here, and how do you like my haircut? Got it yesterday. But boy, oh boy, do we have some news to talk about. And just to let you know, this video is for wrestling fans, so if you don't like it, don't watch it. WWE has actually listened to us, to the fans. There was a battle royal that was there was a battle royal that was named after the Fabulous Moolah. There we go. And everyone was outraged at at why she was being memorialized. I have a wrestling buddy who takes me to work, and I'm going to ask him what he thinks. And then we're probably going to get into a debate about it. And here's the thing. Moolah's career is worthy of being memorialized, but the actual person isn't. What do I mean? Fabulous Moolah did hold that belt longer than anyone. She did. However, she did train women, but she was holding their paychecks, pimping some of the girls out. And so with her personal life and everything, she was just disqualified. And after all the outrage, WWE, and it's not like WWE doesn't know about these issues. They knew about it. They seemed like they were trying to distance themselves away from her, but instead, WWE creative goes, we need a historic women match. I haven't any ideas. You. Yes. How about we name it after the Fabulous Moolah? Great idea. Let's do that. Not really expecting much, right? Well, no. It blew up Twitter. It blew up Facebook. It blew up the entire internet, and people went ape. Not only did they go ape, YouTubers that I know, well, don't know, but are subscribed to, they made their voices heard. And in other news, so now instead of the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, we're going to have the Women's Battle Royal. And that's fine. That's fine. I know that my buddy's going to be a little upset. that I'm gonna have to explain both sides. He told me yesterday that without looking back on the fabulous Moolah, he is right. Without her, there would be no women's wrestling. But there's a difference between professional and personal. She just wasn't a good human being. But may God rest her soul. Here's the thing about this. Oh, but in other news, WrestleMania 35 is going to go back to New York. New York has not held a WrestleMania ever since WrestleMania 29. Jeff Hardy got a DUI, which now the final deletion is gonna be, well, it already is controversial because Jeff's in it, but it was filmed prior to him having the DUI, so I don't see WWE taking I don't see WWE like editing him out or anything like that. I'll be shocked if they do, but I don't think so. I do know that Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks they're all I forget what it's called, but their All In show is gonna be in Chicago, and there is talk about CM Punk being there, but let's be honest, folks. I was going through my YouTube feed and I saw something that said it was by the Suplex Machine Taz. He has his own show, his own radio show, podcast type of thing. And it was on CM Punk getting back into the Octagon, which I don't want to see that. I'm sorry for all the UFC fans out there, but Punk should have stuck with what he knew. He should have stuck to professional wrestling. Why do I say this? Because his he trained for 2 years. Went in there against Mickey Gall and got absolutely decimated. Now, usually I would be able to give Punk a pass, but I'm not going to. Here's the thing. I can understand maybe training a year to 6 months. But when you take 2 years just to train for one fight and you end up getting tapped out in a minute and I think 14 seconds. That's embarrassing. So embarrassing that Dana White even said that he would never allow CM Punk to step back into the octagon. Now, on to something. Cena, Taker, WrestleMania. Yippee! Taker's coming back. I'm sorry. I don't want to see that match. I don't want to see Taker coming back. This will be his last match. But I got to thinking. Remember last WrestleMania where Taker took off the hat, gloves, and coat? I got to thinking. And yes, I did hear another YouTuber speak of this. But what if Taker took off the hat, coat, and gloves because he was shedding the Undertaker gimmick? Well, then what gimmick would he what gimmick would face Cena? What about American Badass? I mean, Kid Rock's going into the Hall of Fame. So why don't you just have Kid Rock do a live performance of his song Dead Man with Taker? He could be writing behind Taker and singing the Dead Man. However, I don't think Taker would come out on top. I think it's either at least going to be 2 AAs and a 3 count. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Taker will come out on top. But I just don't see it. I mean, Undertaker was broken as old school as you could get. And back in the day, people did not win. And I'm not talking about like Trish Stratus or Alita. I'm not talking about those days. I'm talking back when Pat Patterson, back in the old days, like think Bruno Sammartino old. Back in those days, if you had your last match, you would go out on your back and put the young guy over. That's how it was back in. That's how it was, and Undertaker. beat Undertaker defeating Cena wouldn't make any sense unless they do a storyline where they just do like a Ric Flair type of storyline. I could see that working. But that's the only way I could see Cena losing. Is for them to incorporate some sort of storyline where, maybe he doesn't want to be there anymore. Maybe he walks out. Kayfabe. A kayfabe walkout like CM Punk did. That's the only way I can see it. WrestleMania, we're finally gonna get Brock and Roman. Brock and Roman. Well, like the elimination chamber, it's going to be, the match is going to be predictable as all hell, because we know that unless Brock resigns, the only way I can see Vince letting Brock hold the Universal title past Mania is if Brock resigns. But that's either here nor there. Now, I have heard that Vince has offered a very lucrative contract to Lesnar for hoping to. Vince is hoping that Lesnar will stay, but we'll just have to wait and see. The Final Deletion is not going to be a WrestleMania match. It's actually going to air maybe next week. Now, my buddy is a little worried because WWE has their hands on the Final Deletion. But Jeremy Borash, who was signed with the company, was there for filming. Ah. Sorry guys, my nose itched. But now that but now that but now that I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see whether WWE waters the final deletion down, or if they actually make or if they actually make it better than TNA. I'm hoping they make it better than TNA. Okay. Here's a question. Comment below. Comment yes, no, and explain why. Does Raven deserve to go into the WWE Hall of Fame? And yes, while Raven was not a main event in TNA, not TNA, but WWE, he did have multiple. He was a multiple-time world champion. Not world champion. He was a multiple-time hardcore champion. But does he deserve it? Yes, no, and explain why. I personally think yes. So, remember everyone. Comment below. Yes or no. And explain. And I'm hardcore. I am Hardcore Christopher. You are my hardcore nation. Keep it hardcore, everyone.